We interviewed Carlos de Valle and his wife here today at the Central Presbyterian Church. They say this church and his community were vital in bringing him back home.
It's like a dream come true to be back.
Carlos de Valle says he spent 258 days in U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement custody, moved through 12 different facilities. On Wednesday, he arrived back home in Downingtown after being released from a detention center in Louisiana.
Anywhere I went, anytime I asked a question, everybody said, well, we don't know.
Carlos, what was that like, being in these 12 facilities and not receiving any information of what was going to happen?
I think that's created to mess with your head, because eventually, if you can't get any information, if you don't know where you're at, if you don't know what you're doing, you eventually just give up.
But he didn't, and neither did his family.
It's not like you could never be prepared for something like this.
Carlos's wife, Angela, followed his journey all the way to even so-called Alligator Alcatraz, a detention site in Florida.
And I am just so grateful that I was able to follow him. It was an honor. But I also, there's that part of me too that remembers, recognizes that there are so many women who would have wished to have been able to follow their husbands.
Carlos was detained in December of 2024 at an airport in St. Thomas while on vacation with his family. He is a Mexican national who entered the U.S. in 1997, saying he fled cartel violence. He was deported and signed a document agreeing to not return, but he says he never left the U.S. The Trump administration has repeatedly said it is prioritizing the deportation of, quote, the worst of the worst. But data from the Deportation Project shows a significant shift in who ICE is actually targeting. In Pennsylvania, New Jersey, and Delaware, in January and February of this year, nearly 65% of people arrested by ICE had no criminal record. Compare that to January and February of 2024, when 71% of those arrests had been convicted of a crime. De Valle says this is his situation.
I would love to go back to work and become a productive member of this community, this society, which is what I've always done.
We reached out to ICE about this case, but we have still not heard anything back yet. In Downingtown, Sharia Arias, NBC 10 News.